Hello, good evening, everybody. Thank you, the few who made it tonight, and thank you for everyone watching online. We appreciate it. So tonight, on this Wednesday evening, we have Yonata bringing us a talk called The Reality of Dreams. So I'm always interested in dream interpretation and things of that nature, so I'm excited for tonight's talk. So thank you for that. And before we begin the talk of tonight, I would like to invite everyone for a short prayer. So as we take a moment to bring all of ourselves fully here for this talk, this lesson of the evening, let us remember all the challenges facing us and the importance of accepting and embracing those challenges, overcoming them with understanding and peace, so that we may progress and learn and grow. Everything we experience, ourselves and those around us, is all part of our growth here. It's all part of our experience, our shared experience, and we should ask what we could be doing more to help that experience, to improve it. So remembering to embrace more love, fraternity, peace, understanding into our hearts and our lives, let us welcome Yonata for tonight's talk. And with that, so be it. Thank you. So once again, Yonata.
Good evening, everyone. We are, like many announced, we're going to talk about the dreams. And I picked the topic, the reality of dreams, because the first thing that I would like to talk to you about it is the importance of the dreams, and to tell you that dreams are actually have a lot of reality into it. It looks crazy, I know sometimes it sounds crazy when we dream, but have you ever stopped a little bit to think about it? Why do we dream? It's gotta have a purpose, right? I mean, everything in life has a purpose. Every insect that lives on this planet, no matter how small they are, they have a job, but they have a purpose. Every single organs, every single cell that we have in our body has a purpose. Everything has a purpose. So why dream doesn't have a purpose? So it does have a purpose. We don't just dream. Dream has a reality to it. A dream is actually a great tool for us to understand life and to have a better perception of ourselves is also important. And it's something that, of course, in this crazy materialistic world that we're living on right now, we are forgetting the most important things in life. When money and everything else becomes our goal in life, success, money, and everything else, not that this is bad, it's just that when this becomes your only goal in life, and as a humanity, it seems like we were going towards that, we seem to forget things that are really, really, really important. And dreams is one of them. A lot of people study, and you have, for an example, Jung and Freud, that study deeply, that dedicate their lives to understand dreams and why do we dream. So right now we see like always, and almost everything in life, we see a duality there. We have people that takes dreams and want to interpret the dreams like in a very easy way. Let's say if you dream about that you teeth is falling down, it means that somebody's going to die. So people wanted to do this. People wanted to dream and go to the internet and ask Mr. Google, dreaming about the teeth falling out of them, what does this means? And people that wanted to say that if you dream about a snake, you're going to be betrayed. Not necessary. And you have people who don't pay attention to their dreams at all. So we have two opposites right there. What we're trying to do here is bring it in and say, okay, dream is important. It has a purpose in life. It has a purpose in humanity and has a purpose for myself. And my dreams are my dreams, okay? And they mean stuff for me, okay? So according to Jung, that studied a lot of the dreams has a mission, and the mission of the dream is to tell you something about you or about the world that you cannot see it, okay? And one of the important things that we can learn from the Native Americans are this one too. Native Americans always pay attention to their dreams. And they had like this culture that when the kids dreams, they come together on a tribe to share their dreams. And then you had the person and the person will try to help them understand and help them interpret their dreams. But we didn't have that. Every time that we told our parents, oh, I dream about this, they say, did you watch a horror movie? Did you do that? You know, dreams are fake. Dream means nothing. And especially when a kid had a nightmare. You know, when we had nightmare and we run to our mom and tell them that most of the action was, no, it's nothing. Dreams are, so we're not used to use these wonderful tools because nobody ever taught us the importance of it. Now imagine us if we grew up trying to interpret our dreams. We would be a master today. You know, we would be, oh my God, I know what this means, because it's an exercise. It's something that you have to do it every day that you remember a dream. You have to stop a little bit and think about it, what this could mean for me. And one of the number one red flags that we have is when we have repetitive dreams, like we have that same dream all over again. Okay? There is something right there. If you have those, pay attention to those. And the good thing is that after you figure it out, after you interpret that dream, you will never dream that dream again. Okay? Because dreams are messages. Messages from where? Okay, first let's start with Allan Kardec, okay? Because Allan Kardec would tell us on the Spirit books that when we dream, it's like we are in contact with the spiritual world. And that's a reality. That's one of the reality. And Native Americans think about the same thing. So Native Americans will get guidance from their ancestor through dreams. They will dream about someone that passed away. They will dream about a medicine. They will get guidance to life using their dreams. They still do that. Okay? And we can do the same. It can also serve to us as guidance. Okay? So, Allan Kardec would tell us that every time that we dream, we go to the spiritual world, which is also true. And Jung recognized that when Jung called them the spiritual dreams. Okay? So it's one type of a dreams that you go on the spiritual world and then you have an encounter with somebody and that somebody already passed away, and that is wonderful. But dreams are not always about that. Okay? That could happen and happens. So we get Andre Luis in one of his books that he mentions this, that a granddaughter was sleeping and the grandparent approached her to let her know that she was hanging out with the wrong group of people. And the grandmother, which was in the spiritual world, was worried about that. So when the grandchild went to sleep, she went to have an encounter with her, a spiritual encounter with her. And she said, listen, be careful with this kind of groups that you are going out with. They're doing drugs or whatever it is that they were. The grandma was worried. So, and Andre Luis witnessed all this. And then Andre Luis asked his mentor, was she going to remember that? And then they say, not like this. She will remember that it was a snake that came in and bite her feet. You're like, what? How is she supposed to know that she was in danger? Well, I was like, because it's not that easy, guys, to get something that is extra physical to bring it to the physical. It's not that easy. It's not easy even for mediums to try to understand what's going on over there. Because we have to use the physical mind. We have to use the physical machine. And we are full of ideas and things and beliefs, and that interferes. And I like to think about this. I like to give an example of it's like an old disk that used to download. Remember the old computer? When we wanted to share a file, you share a little file and then the paper going through from one. We don't do that anymore, but when computers a while ago, they used to do that, right? Remember the little files? And this is kind of like the files and the information that we had over there. When we try to download, it's not the same because the language of the universe, it's symbolic. It's through symbols. Some people think that one day we're going to talk to each other and the universal language is mathematic. I think the universal language is symbolic. It's symbols, not signs. Don't get confused. Sign is one thing. Symbol is a completely different thing. Okay? It's symbolic. So what Andre Luis, what the mentor is trying to explain is that it's not the snake, it's the fact that the snake bit their granddaughter. This is how she could have remembered the dreams. Okay? So the next day she wakes up and she said, oh, I think I dreamed about my grandmother, but then it came a snake and bit me. You guys can make the connection, okay? But unless you are a person that pays attention to the dream interpretation, you're going to let that go. You're not going to have it and say, maybe my grandma is trying to tell me that I'm in danger. Who's new in my life? What is going on? What am I doing differently? Okay? So dreams are very, very important. Jung is going to say that if it's really a spiritual dream, usually you dream about a person that passed away and it's crystal clear. It's just like you're watching a movie. You see that person just like I'm seeing you guys and you guys are seeing me. It's crystal clear. When it's crystal clear, like such a reality that when you dream when somebody that passed, that it's in a spiritual world right now, then you can evaluate it. Oh, I think I had an encounter on a spiritual world. Now, there's a difference. Look at how the difference. If you dream about somebody that passed, and you see that person on dark clothing or in a very bad situation, it could actually mean that you are having a hard time accepting the person's death. It does not actually mean that the person is in a bad place. It has to do with you. Okay, the difficult timings that you are... Como é que fala? Luto? Yeah. To you pain to deal with that person's death. It has nothing to do with the other person. Okay? So it's a little line that it's difficult to interpret, but even if you have a spiritual encounter, even if you have a spiritual dream, it's very important to go ahead and try to interpret that. But don't think, because it makes no sense. Because some people will dream that they go to one place and then they're together, then they're in one place. Some people dream that they are working all day long. What does this mean? What spiritual world do I go to that I'm working and doing one thing here, then I go to another scene, then I dream about 5 or 7 scenes, that different scenarios all night? That could not be spiritual. You know, what kind of message is there? What is going on? Okay? And one thing that I found that to be very interesting is that the Native Americans, they actually think that when you had a very bad dream, it might be a sign of obsession. So they believe that you might have a bad spirit next to you. So there is one thing. That's what they believe. I'm not telling you that it's always the case. So in dreams, there is not such a thing as this is this and this is that. The dream is an art of interpretation. Okay? So let's... What happened? Okay. This is according to Jung. We have this consciousness. This is not working. We have this... Okay. Consciousness, which is about 10% of what we know. We have the unconscious mind, and we have the collected unconscious. It's not divided like this, guys. This is just a graphic idea. So what is going on? Who am I? Okay? I am not just the ego. Who am I? I have this inside of me. I have the conscious part of it, which is only 10%. I have the unconscious mind, which is the other 90%. And beyond this, deeper than that, I have the collective mind, you know. So this is all part of us, because the collected mind, we get connected to it and influence us. We're going to see this in a little bit. So the biggest problems that we have is to think that I am just what I think I am. No, we're much more than that. Okay? And this is Jung. Until you make it the unconscious conscious, you will control your life, and you call it fate. Okay? So remember, we only are conscious about 10%. 90% is unconscious. That's why dreams are so important. Because dreams are messages from the unconscious mind. Okay? Number one rule for dream interpretation. If you know what it means, you're not right. Because the dreams tells you a message that you don't know about yourself. It's a new thing. It's something that it's in the unconscious mind. And you have no idea of it. And look how wonderful this tool is. So the dreams is a message from an unconscious mind that comes and is trying to tell you something. but does not speak any language. Only speak symbols. Okay? So you might ask, Yonara, how come I watch a movie, a horror movie, for an example, and then I dream about the movie? Because your unconscious mind will use the images, whatever it is that they can, to deliver the message for you. So if you watch a movie and you got impressed and you dream about that movie, it's because your unconscious mind is using that to send you the message. Since you got impressed, okay, that's good, let's use that. Okay, speaking so we can understand. So one of the most important things, so you see the ego over here. So the ego is the only thing that it's located on a conscious mind. Okay, now let's make this clear. Ego, it's not a bad thing. A lot of people say, oh, this is ego. Okay, we need the ego. Okay, we cannot tell that ego is the bad guy or the good guy. It's part of yourself. It's part of who you are. If you don't have ego, you don't have a memory. You don't have a personality, because it's part of who you are. Now, when the person gets their ego completely destroyed, they might have a psychiatric crisis. Okay? So ego, we use this ego in such a bad way. Say, oh, this is my ego. Remember, the problem is not the ego. The problem is the inflated ego. Okay? The ego can become, let's put it this way, symbolic, ill. Okay? And the ego inflated. And that's the ego inflated. It's what we say, oh, this is the ego acting. You're pure of ego. But it's not ego. You're pure of inflated ego. Jung put that very clear. Because what's going to happen with the ego is when you get obsessed with an idea. Okay? And then it will go to the archetypes, for an example. And you obsess with the idea that you have to be a hero. And then you, according to Jung, you're going to send so much of psychic energy towards becoming a hero that you kind of become obsessed with the idea. And the hero is an archetype because it's a history of humanity. We all are heroes. We come here, we do what we're supposed to do, and then we learn what we're supposed to learn, and then we teach and save other people. This is the way humanity works. We are all heroes. Now, when you become attached to this archetype of heroes and obsessed with the idea to become hero, okay, you might not be able to hear a criticism because you wanted to be a hero. You wanted to be the best. You wanted to be this. And when you connect all your energy towards that, your psych energy towards that, it's kind of become attracted to it. And that creates something that we call the complex. So the complex, you are so attached, energetic to the idea of some kind of idea that you are right about it, that if a person tells you that you're wrong, you just blew it. And it feels like Jung used to say that the complex kind of dominates you, and it does, if you don't have the consciousness about it. Because it's just like pressing the button. And we all know this. We know the buttons that we can press to take anybody that we know out of control. We know that. We know that if we say that little thing, boom, that's it for the person. They lose it. And unfortunately, we use that. And I'm going to tell exactly, because I know what upsets them. And I know, and I'm mad, and I want to push the button, and I'm going to hurt them because I know exactly what it is. And in that moment, that person is not even themselves anymore. Sometimes you push it, sometimes other person in traffic pushes, but you know, since it got pushed, the person explodes because she's full of that type of energy. She is so connected to the idea to be right. For an example, it's a bunch of ideas. I'm just giving you one. She's so connected to idea that she needs to be right, and everything that she thinks it's right. The ego is full of ideas. The ego is full of, how do we know things? We don't. None of us know anything. Look at this virus. Okay, it's a big proof of that. But the ego gets inflated with the idea, with one of the ideas. And then when it gets inflated with one of the ideas, it uses all the mental energy towards that idea. And that becomes a problem. Guess what? In your dreams, the dream is going to show you this. The dreams are going to show you how the ego reacts to the complex and the reactions that you have. One of the great examples is this. When you dream about something that you usually in your life, you get really mad. So let's see, for an example, that somebody came into you and called you a name or did something that you were very upset. In real life, you would react to that situation. But in your dream, for some reason, you didn't react. You just didn't react at all. This could be that you are not in tune with the emotions, reactions that is going on in your life. So even a simple meaning on your dreams. One of the things that we have to pay most of attention is, how do we feel on our dreams? What are the feelings that the dream actually brought us? Okay? How does this make us feel? This is one of the important. And how do we act, or how we react, or when we don't act at all? Because when we don't act at all, when we don't react at all, it's also a message. It's also something there. Okay, now the ego, it's everything that we think you are. That's the ego, okay? Doesn't know much, but it's important, okay? So the biggest thing is not to allow the ego to become too inflated. The ego cannot be the king of the consciousness, okay? The self should be the king, okay? And the self, it's like we can say, is the divine that we all have, is the divine that we all have inside of us. Now, if the ego is the king on our consciousness, if the ego is the king of ourself, you won't hear the self. Do you understand? So the self is the divine. The self is the good that is inside of every single one of us. Okay? And sometimes we don't allow the self to express too much because our mind is too busy, the ego is too busy. Okay? But we need to learn how to hear the self also. And the self sometimes, if you allow it, if you're in good position, is also shown in your dreams. Sometimes the self shows in your dream as a voice that came from beyond, as an older man that took you and hold you in the arms. That could be the self telling you something. The self also appears on your dreams. And the persona is who, the persona, we all need the persona. The persona is the mask that we put to deal with society. It's necessary. If I'm very, very upset, okay, I still have to go to work. And I don't have to be destroyed by that. I have to put a mask and I have to act. I have to perform my job. And this is called the persona, okay? The persona is, am I the person that I am here on the center? Of course not. Don't be upset, okay? Because over here, you have to have a persona that comes in here to deal with everybody. It's normal. Good example is about the doctors. Can you imagine you going to the doctor's office and the doctor's office start to tell you all about his personal life and everything, how wrong everything's going on in his life? You're going to go, okay, I'm out of here, right? So no matter what he's going through, he's the doctor. So he's got to be there and perform as a doctor. Biggest problem is when he's trying to be a doctor at home, he's trying to be a doctor with his friend, he's trying to be a doctor wherever he goes. So the persona is only a part of you. When you have too much identification with the persona, that creates a problem with you. Okay? So I am not the doctor. Doctor is my persona, my personality, something that I put up with. Okay? Now, if I'm connected too much with the persona, and I'm thinking that I'm the persona, then there is a problem. And it's going to come to your dreams. How does persona comes to your dream? The persona comes to your dream usually through clothing. It's very common. And you know, you dream about something, and for some reason you say, I was wearing a white dress. For some reason, you remember exactly what you were wearing. Or another dream that has to do with persona is when you're naked. Who or ever dreamed that they were naked in public, right? This is the connection with the persona, or the disconnection with the persona. It may also connect, because remember, what we're trying to do here is harmonize. We need the persona, but we cannot think that we are the persona. But if you don't have a persona, you're in trouble. You're not going to be able to make friends. You're not going to be able to socialize with people. Okay? So that's a few examples. And then we have the anima and the animus, which is the female energy and the male energy. We all need that. We need both. Okay? No matter who you are, if you are a man or woman, you're going to need both of this energy. Okay, so anima and animus, the female. Female energy is what? Emotion, sensibility, okay? Anima, okay? Animus, male energy, is what? You're rational. You take actions. You do things, okay? So if you look at it, you're going to see that we have both, but sometimes we have one that it's, a little bit more than another. That will come to your dreams also. So, sometimes if I dream about my husband, it's not really my husband. It's the animus inside of me. And it needs a symbolic image of a man. So it shows my husband. It shows my brother. It shows the opposite sex. Okay? That we're trying to deal. And then we have the shadows. The shadow is part of the unconscious mind also. The shadow is that little dark part, that we all have, and that we are so afraid of, and that we shouldn't be afraid of. We actually should embrace a shadow and look at it and have courage and look at it and deal with our shadow. So the shadow also appears in our dreams. And it's funny because the shadow has a tendency, this is all tendency, this is all based on studies of people that study thousands of dreams, okay? The shadow might come in your dream as the same sex. The animal and the animals will come as the opposite sex. The shadow has a tendency to come on the same one. So if I'm dreaming about Sueli, for an example, it might be something to do with one of my shadow. It doesn't really mean Sueli was there. Get it? Okay. And then we talk about the self. So this is the shadow projection. We know that when we see something that we don't like on other people, it's because it's a projection of us. The picture tells very well. It's a project. How other people make us feel is something that we carry on the inside. That projection happens a lot also in the dreams. Okay? So your shadow might be projected on the dreams also. And we have to pay attention to it. So just a few interesting facts because we don't have too much time. But this is a man here with not in harmony, disequilibrium. Can I say that? With their animal energy. So it becomes irrational mood. It becomes very mad at and get out of rage easily. It's because of the imbalance of the anima. Okay? So when this is just an example for you guys to think, if the man lose their moon like this, goes from one place to and the other place, what is the message that the unconscious mind, how are they going to use the dreams to tell that person, hey, listen, you need to find the balance. And then on the other place, a man that he doesn't do anything, that he doesn't have any action, that it's very slow, that it takes a very long time to make a move, and all that is a little bit of a problem on the animus energy that needs to bump, and it will show that to their dreams. The dreams are trying to help you see things that if you actually follow, your life will improve so much. Okay? And then we have here a woman, okay, that when he has too much of one of the other, you have a woman here that is very opinionated and inflexible with their opinion. Okay? So it doesn't have the flexibility to look and say, am I right? Am I wrong? Can I do this? Can I not do this? Okay? So when we have this type of behavior, it's a problem also in the animals. And again, it will show in our dreams. So there is two forms of thinking. Conceptual thinking that follows the logic of identity, and symbolic thinking that follows the logic of similarity. Okay? Dreams are the second one. It's the symbolic thinking that follows the logic of similarity. We always going to look to this. If you dream about a table, what does the table means to you symbolically? You might not know, but if you think a little bit and say, this could be it. Okay? We're going to talk about it because we don't have too much time. I have to wrap it up. But we're going to talk about some of the classic dreams. Okay? Dreams that you are flying. Okay? If you're dreaming that you're flying, unfortunately, be careful. Okay? Because it might be that you are completely out of reality. not reality of your own reality. Okay? You might not know yourself at all. And you're not in contact with getting to know you. So you're out of reality. So the way that your conscious mind is telling you is put your feet on the ground. You are flying. Like put your feet on the ground. Get some certainty. Get some ideas that it's more. You out of reality means in your ideas, in your way of thinking, and a lot of things, okay? So it's one of the classics one. Another one, because dreams can also be used as a diagnose. Jung used to do that a lot. So to diagnose something, he used the dreams. So you might have, is it possible that you are in depression and you don't know that you're depressed? Of course they are, right? So what is the dreams that indicates that? Dreams with insects, especially if it's a lot of them. You know, that comes to your body and you go, oh, you know, that might, please remember the word might, okay? That might indicate that you're going to depression, okay? Also, dreams that somebody is following you or going after you, okay? That is also might be any kind of animal, actually, animal attacking you. Animals, any kind of animal that's coming after you, it might be a sign of depression, okay? That you're going to a depression. Anxiety. If you have anxiety, what type of dreams would you have? You have dreams of not being prepared for an exam, okay? If you have those dreams, you know, like you're going to do the exam and you don't have the pen, you can't pass the exam, oh my God, I forgot this. Even though if you are at school for years and you're still thinking about the dreams, those are, and it's very interesting because this type of dreams here, it indicates anxiety, and it's very connected to the persona. It's very connected to when you are very attached to the persona is only a mask, not who you are. But if you're very attached to the persona, you're going to be very worried about what other people think about you. So you're going to be very concerned about your success. And when you don't have the success that you think, you might have the dreams that you are not prepared for an exam. Because those are very common dreams. People have them, okay? And it's the anxiety, but it's indicating the anxiety. But what is bringing me the anxiety? The persona. The problem, the high identification with the persona. The tight identification with the persona. It will brings anxiety, of course. If I'm constantly worried about what other people is going to think about me, it's going to give me an anxiety, okay? And then dreams of persecution by some threatened person or creature, that also could be anxiety. But that one, usually, it has to do with your shadows. Somebody's after you, running after you. It could be your shadows. It could be something that you cannot see it on yourself. And the shadow is after you, because the shadow is only to say, running after you and say, please see me. Please see me. Okay? And or a creature. And also that has to do with shadow is dreams that falls. That's anxiety. Threats due to natural event like earthquake, floods, tidal wave, forest fire. Okay? Some people have a lot of dreams that they have like the earthquake or they have floods. Who had dreams about floods? You know, I live in Florida, and then the tsunami happens, you know. This tsunami, it's inside of you. Okay? The tsunami, it's all the anxiety, all the things that it's inside of you. Okay? So those are a few examples of what we can do and how we can interpret our dreams. And if I were you, I would do an easy task. I will wake up in the morning, get your phone, and just type your dreams. Or get a piece of paper and just type it. Just leave it there. You don't want to interpret. It's fine. And I wanted to give you a scientific experience. 3 to 4 months after, you go back and you see what happens in your life. Okay? And I can tell you, if we did a dream workshop here one day, right? If we all get together and if we write this on, I'm almost 100% sure that we could see this virus coming through our dreams. The situation that we're going to right now. Because Jung studied and he saw the situation, the World War II happening to their dreams and to his dream. Because when something huge is going to happen, people will dream about it. You know how many people dream about 9/11? Thousands. Thousands of people dream about, not 9/11, the dream, but fighter, airplanes, war, something, you know? So it's a great tool. It's a great tool. So what I invited you to do it is this. Usually you will forget your dreams at the moment that you get out of bed. That's how it works. So usually I know most of you have your phone right next to you, next to the bed. So just grab it, go to notes. Wonderful tool, the iPhone. Just say it if you don't want to type it. Say your dreams and leave it there. Go take a cup of coffee. Think about it if you can a little bit. But learn how to interpret dreams. Go 3 to 4 months after, and then you realize, oh my God, I dream about this. If I had the guidance, that wouldn't happen in my life. I saw this coming. Not only prophetics, but something that it happened to you, your pain. Your dreams will tell you. I did that, and I saw it, that a few things that I did in the past, that I went through the past, especially the past of my father, it was in my dreams. And the moment, the pain that I went through, when I read it today, I can tell my unconsciousness trying to tell me something that I couldn't see right there. So if you guys do that, you're going to have scientific proofs that how your dreams can help you. And then, but most important, use that to see your shadow. Use that to evaluate your animal and your animals inside. Do that to see your persona. Do that to identify your complex, the button that people push that you get out of control. Do that. And every time I think about this, I see the perfection of God. And I'm like, this is so wonderful. How come He creates a tools for us? The universe is everything so perfect that He gives us a tool to help us grow. And we think, oh, I need to do therapy. Therapy is wonderful. You do need it. We all need it if you want. But you have your dreams also. You have your natural tools that don't be lazy about it. You know, when we did the workshop, people were so interested in the dreams, and that lasted for a week or two, right, Naj? And then after that, people forgot about it and went to do their normal lives and not even thinking about dreams. So we have to bring it back the subject, and we have to remind ourselves, okay, that dreams are these wonderful, magnific tools that it was given to us for free, and we can become masters and interpret our dreams. But it needs time and it needs dedication. Okay? It's not you're not gonna wake up tomorrow knowing every dream that you have and how to interpret it. But rule number one, it's always something that you don't know about yourself. Okay? Always. Thank you so much for your attention. Let's go for our reminders really, 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 really quick. So we're going to have a live panel discussion about Paul the Apostle. If you saw the phase one, we're going to continue next week because people seem to like it. And we only had like 40 or 45 minutes, so we're going to do phase two. Okay, so we're going to talk more about Paul. Okay? And then please subscribe to our channel, but use the little bell there. Broad Spirit Society, like it, subscribe, but the bells will tell you when we go on our lives event. And then Facebook, the same thing, okay? You like the page, but you have to let the page know, the page announce, and you have to hear, they say, please, Broad Spirit Society, it's alive. If you don't do this here, you won't go automatically. And we still have a meditation on Tuesday online at 7 p.m. And the study in the realms of mediumship is still going on every Tuesday at 8 p.m. And this is through Zoom. If you want to participate, please let us know. Manny is involved in that study. You're welcome to be part of it. Okay, and this is it. So let's get prepared for our final prayer. I am going to pray. If you can get the lights, though. I need to magnetize the water. If you can come in, Manny. Okay. Can I have a little music or? And the lights? So I invited all of you to let's just think about the dreams, for an example. Not dreams, our dreams, but dreams in general. Let's bring it to our heart. And be grateful for these wonderful tools. Be grateful for the universe. Be grateful for the Creator. Be grateful to have everything in such a perfect order for us to come, to live, to grow, and to be happy. And be thankful for the mentors of the house. Be thankful for our personal mentors, that it's always with us. And with that, we ask for those that are in the hospitals right now, that it's been affected in any way, their health. So that our energy can bring them healing and hope. And to think about that, especially family members that need our attention right now. Let's take a minute to think about them. Or that friend. And let's go ahead and send it to them also. Our love, our care, our energy. And let's think about ourselves now. Let's bring the attention to us so we can receive the virtual magnetism and the magnetism from the spiritual world. And let's be open to receive the joy, the peace, the love that it's in the universe. Let's open our heart to receive the blessings and feel good about ourselves and feel good about this journey that we are on, and feel relaxed and in peace, so we can go back home so much lighter than we came in, with so much joy in our heart. And we can go ahead and go home and without words just pass this over to our family, to our home, to our environment. Just because we can be the light in the world. We are the light. So be it. So, good night, everyone. Thank you so much.